channel. This is Sylvia. I hope you're all doing amazing. First of all, let me begin by wishing you all a very happy Dhanteras and Choti Diwali to everybody who's celebrating. So as you can see guys, this video is going to be about the travel requirements that you need if you're traveling from India to UAE or from UAE to India. What basically happened is, because I was going through all of these details in actually going through all the websites and stuff like that, and I figured that it is a bit difficult for somebody who is not so frequent at traveling to gather all these information. So I thought of putting all of those together. The reason is that I am going to be traveling myself very soon. In fact, I am actually going to go get one of my RT-PCR tests right now. So I thought of sharing this video with you, and I really believe that this is going to be helpful to everybody who is thinking of traveling right now. But before I get into all the details guys, if you are new to my channel, a very warm welcome to you, and I really hope that you would be a part of my YouTube family, and you can do so by clicking the subscribe button and also click the little bell icon next to it so you get an update every time I upload. So without further delay, let's get into the video. Before I start today's topic, I want to tell you that no matter what information I share with you, it is really crucial that you take a moment to read the travel guidelines, because all the airline operators have a certain specific regulations that are specific to that particular airline, and this might vary. What I'm going to talk about today is more or less general, and it's more generic and applies to all the airlines, but even though the regulations are changing every single day, so please make sure you take a moment to read all the travel guidelines before you go on board. You can use my video as a reference. I'm going to be linking all the details of all the websites and the links which you can use. I'll be mentioning them during the course of today's video. So yeah, basically just take a moment to read the travel guidelines before you travel. So let's get into the video. First, we are going to talk about, while we are traveling from India to UAE, the requirements and all about that, and then we'll move on to traveling to India from UAE. So if you are a UAE resident, then you definitely need a ICA approval or GTFRA approval. Now this is mostly specific to all the airports which is in the UAE. I think Sharjah airport is the only exception, but for all the residents apart from the residents of Abu Dhabi. But as a generic rule, everybody who is a resident needs an ICA approval. Where you can get the approval, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below, so do check that out. Also, if you are a tourist, then you do not need the ICA approval. Next, do you or do you not need a RT-PCR test? So first, let's understand what is an RT-PCR test. An RT-PCR test is basically a swab test, because there are two types of COVID tests. One is instant, wherein they take your blood and they give you the results in about 30 minutes to 1 hour. But what you require as a travel requirement is the RT-PCR test, which takes approximately 24 to 48 hours for the results to develop. And you can get these tests done if you're going to travel from India to UAE. I'm going to leave the description, the link below. So you have to get it done from an ICMR approved clinic. Basically, as a general rule, I think all the government hospitals are included in it in almost every city, but do take a look at the list and you can get them done there. So you will basically need to go to the clinic. Sometimes you need an appointment, but mostly it's always walk-in, but you might have to wait. So they put a long Q-tip sort of a thing for the swab test. They put it in your 1 or 2 of your nostrils, and then they get the swab test, and they tell you in the next 1 or 2 days whether or not you are RT-PCR negative. Now there is a condition related to the RT-PCR test. You must get this test done within 96 hours of your departure time. So let's say if you are traveling on the 12th, then you will probably have to get this test done. I would say nothing before the 8th, but nothing after the 10th, because keep in mind that it takes around 24 to 48 hours to develop. I think it's best to be done 2 days prior. So if you're traveling in the night, you have the test results by the morning and you know the equation. Also, children below the age of 12 years are exempted from the RT-PCR test. One more thing before I forget, so for the people who were stuck in India and had to get their visas renewed, and their visas were issued after the 7th of July 2020. Basically, if you have a paper visa for the UAE residents, you guys don't need ICA or GDFRA approval as well. Oh my god, this is like a tongue twister to me. Anyways, so the last but not the least, there is also a declaration form that you will have to fill out before you get into UAE. This is basically an undertaking that you agree to, stating that you will be willing to take the institutional quarantine in case you are found negative. Also, in majority of the UAE airports, once you get here, so don't be alarmed if they are going to do a RT-PCR test on their own. So they do an RT-PCR test. I got it done when I got here. It's really quick. And they give you a report like within next 24 to 48 hours, and even if you're a visitor and if you are like COVID negative, you're free to go around, see the places, because UAE mostly is open with certain limited restrictions. So that is all you need to know about the UAE. Now let's move on from traveling from UAE to India. Now, certain airlines have their tie-up for this RT-PCR test in the like UAE or several hospitals. Like for example, I'm going to travel by SpiceJet. So SpiceJet has a tie-up with most of the NMC hospitals in here. So if you have your ticket, you go there, you can get a test done for around sum of 150 dirhams, I believe. So there are several options. Also, there are certain like clinics which do these tests for free. I don't know how they operate, but that is more or less it. Next, when you again the same rule applies, you will have to get the test done 96 hours within your travel departure time. The next thing that you need to do, there is again a self-declaration form that you will have to fill out before you travel to India. So for India, the thing is that the COVID test is not mandatory. Again, it is not mandatory, but it is highly advisable. What this means is that if you go to India without getting a test done, now you will encounter three different situations. The first, where you can get a test done at the airport, and depending on the results, you will be or will not be allowed to get the institutional quarantine or be exempted from it. Second, there are a certain category of people who will be exempted from the institutional quarantine, and they will be allowed to be at their homes at domestic or let's say the home quarantine. So women who are pregnant, somebody who is going through a mental distress, somebody who has had a death in family will be exempted from this quarantine. Provided, okay, I'll come to the next. And also the third is somebody who has already applied for quarantine exemption report. Now what this basically means is, let's say if I'm getting my corona COVID test done, RT-PCR test done, so when I go to fill out the self-declaration form, the first column for the self-declaration form is the the first column is where you put the acknowledgement number of your exemption request number, basically. So once you have your exemption report, like your COVID-19 report, you can go and request the Indian government that for such and such reason I want to get exempted, I am COVID negative, I would want to carry on to my onward journey. So like in my case, I'm going to be traveling to Delhi and then onward to Bagdogra. So if I don't have the corona test negative results with me and I cannot get a COVID test done for whatsoever reason in Delhi, then then the procedure says that I will have to be in an institutional quarantine at Delhi, and that will be paid by me, and then which would be for 7 days, and then I would be allowed to go home and then be quarantined for 7 days. So because I'm going to fill out the exemption form, I will still have to carry the hard copy with me, because the number of people traveling these days are quite high. Sometimes due to the system error, they might not receive the exemption form, or the results don't come back at time. So it's always best to carry the hard copy with you, so you can always go and tell them, see, I have the negative COVID test result, and please let me continue to my journey. Now once you have reached your final destination, whichever state you belong to, they have their own set of regulations that you will have to go through. Like I know for domestic in West Bengal there is no home quarantine as such, as long as you have you're asymptomatic and you don't have any symptoms. Also under certain circumstances in India, they allow people with mild to no symptoms or asymptomatic people to go on, and then they are asked to have a self monitoring, and in case they encounter certain discomfort, they are required to call and inform the health authorities. So that is more or less about the regulations. I believe I have covered all of this. You see I have a little note, let me just go through that. Oh yes, for India, you will have to download the Arogya Setu app on your phones before you travel. They need to have the green tick on it. Similarly, before you travel to UAE, you will need to download the COVID-19 Smart app, and this is a mandatory thing. I think that is the way they track your movements, and it also tells you if you have somebody who is with a positive symptom around you. So this is more or less that. Really sorry if I've missed out on any information. So I just wanted to make a basic guide for all of you that is going to equip you, and you will not have to go through all the hassle, because I'm going to link all the websites below, so it is all under one roof and it is well catered to all of you. But again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the rules and regulations change every single day, so please use this video as a guide, but definitely go through the operator specific regulations. Now before I sign up, I just have one final request to make to all of you guys. It's Diwali tomorrow. It's a festival of light. It brings out so much positivity and happiness in all of our hearts. But as the Indian government has requested, please do not use any firecrackers. What I want to highlight here is, do not do it just because the government has asked you not to. But I also believe that let's just be considerate to the people, to the families who have lost their loved ones. Like as of last week, 12 million people have lost their lives globally. So this year when you light a lamp, let's light it to ensure that their souls rest in peace. Think about how blessed we are to still have our loved ones and near and dear ones around us. So I think, oh my god, I feel such a heaviness in my heart right now. Okay, so I have always believed in a noise-free and pollution-free Diwali celebration. Also, this will ensure that the pollution level remains low. I'm sure you guys have been seeing the news. Delhi has crossed all the limitations of pollution. Like 400 is killer. It is up to about 600, I think 800. I don't know. The patients who are suffering with corona, they as it is have respiratory tract problems. We don't want to give our doctors, our patients any more trouble than they already have to endure in the name of a festival. I believe this should be a gentle reminder to all of us, that Mother Nature is asking us to maybe celebrate, but in a more environmental friendly way. So that's all guys. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave your comments in the comment section, share with your friends and family you think this would be beneficial with, and a very happy Diwali in advance. Stay blessed, stay happy, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.